Trail running hasn't been big in China for long. 5 years ago, when I first started trail running, I remember there weren't many domestic gear options to choose from. These past 2 years, with standout performances by two petite Chinese female runners, Chen Ling and Xiang Fuzhao, in major international races, trail running has started gaining more attention. Chinese brands jumped into the arms race too. Today's shoe is 361 degrees Flame 4x4, the overall sibling of the Flame line most runners know. I created this channel to review Chinese running products. More importantly, it's my way of forcing myself to practice spoken English. I'm self-sponsored, and money doesn't grow on trees. Whether good or bad, I will tell you without filtering. Let's dive in from the specs. They also list a 6mm drop, but stack height info isn't officially provided. The midsole uses the same PBA-based supercritical beaded foam as the Flame 4, though with different tuning that I will detail later. Also is 361 degrees RPU, a kind of CPU also. The lugs are measured as 3mm. Honestly, I believe lug depth is crucial info that brands shouldn't miss for trail shoe. Terrain matching matters. Anyway, from the official description page, we can see this is a racing trail running shoe. And I learned from the site that CPU has some limitations in also lug applications. 3 to 3.5mm lugs seems to be the deepest currently possible with this technology. So choosing 3mm lugs seems fair and reasonable for this shoe. My size 45 weighs 350 grams. Again, for a race trail shoe, that's chunky. Usually, my other same size more performance trail shoes weigh around 300 grams, and the really good ones dip to about 280 grams. It's true to size. God. For reference, I usually wear 45 in Chinese brands and 46 in Hoka and New Balance. The mountain I'm about to run is around 500 meters tall. Not super high altitude. But the coolest part is it's right in the downtown. Super convenient, right? The best way to get to the base is definitely by scooter. If you drive a car, parking for a 3 hours trail run would cost you about as same as a pair of Xtep 2000 kilometers, but with a scooter. Free parking! After the basics, let's take a look at the details. The engineered mesh reminds me of few years future too. Like a thicker, denser, tougher version. It filters debris and stays comfy. Grit sneaks in mostly through the tongue fabric. This racing-style tongue has bigger mesh holes. Seems slightly too large for trail running. The microfiber-like material along the tongue edges has already become quite frayed after recent trail runs. That said, they remain very comfortable and don't cause any irritation. The heel padding is max cushion road running shoe level. Personally, I prefer more heel padding in trail shoes. I think that would be advantageous, like preventing debris from entering the shoe and protection when ankles are constantly tortured on technical terrain. Designers added gaiter attachments that are compatible with gaiters like Ultras. This provides extra protection, keeping sand, grit, and scratches off your ankles. The orange stretch loop in the middle of the tongue helps secure laces against the accidental loosening. The entire upper also adds a lot of reflective elements, almost encircling the shoe. Moving to the midsole, it shares the similar design concepts with the Flame 4. Exposed carbon plate, the arches dome structure. The dome is supposed to load and spring back, but it doesn't pop like on Flame 4. Through the continuous squeaking sound at the midfoot, you can tell this structure is working, just not much. I feel cushioning, not the rebound I got from Flame 4. Sometimes, it's not that I'm dying to reach the top. Man, I'm just hungry. With that out of the way, let's talk about the pros and cons of actually running in it. I think we have to figure out 361 degrees current trail lineup first. So the pros and cons of this shoe actually make sense. Right now, they've got 4. 飞火, targeting hiking scenarios. Full EVA midsole. Yushan Pro mixes ATPU supercritical beaded foam on top with EVA layer underneath. From the lug pattern, it's more suitable for smooth terrain, especially for those who run trails in suburban or foothill areas. Another model, Wuxia, runs full supercritical beaded foam. Lugs say all-terrain runner, but friends who bought it say it still feels like a hiker. Finally, this Flame 4x4 is currently 361 degrees only trail shoe positioned for racing. And also the first time I've seen 361 uses the term pro trail. Okay, now that we understand 361 degrees trail lineup, let's start with the pros. Its forefoot foam is very responsive. During uphill, even running up steep grades that often require forefoot landing, it feels agile underfoot. Not like a 350 grams shoe. This has a lot to do with the paper-based supercritical beaded foam midsole it uses. Even now, some models from Hoka and Ultra that use EVA foam. With the same shoe weight, the Flame 4x4 feels more responsive and energetic when running. In heel strike scenarios, the 4x4 also provides good cushioning. The 4x4 doesn't have a hollowed out heel like Flame 4. When heel striking, it delivers excellent cushioning without compromising stability. Before the real cons, I probably need to bring up 3 in-between points. That is, some issues that advantages from one angle and disadvantages from another. You can see from the details, the toe bumper, the reinforced area that extends from the front of the shoe all the way to the middle, designed as the number 3 here. Such a large area offering enhanced durability and protection. For a trail running shoe positioned for racing, I think it is somewhat excessive. I think runners who typical by racing trail shoes are already quite experienced. In my view, ditch the bumper or keep it minimal to save weight, to save grams, and drive faster after quick crossing seems more important. At least, this is a necessary compromise to reduce weight. So, how to view this point? Whether you need lots of protection, I think this depends on your trail environment and your experience. The second neutral issue is the carbon plate. I think this shoe's plate is a bit stiff. There's usually a direction of carbon plate. This directional bounce in trail running can sometimes become an uncontrollable factor. Like steep downhills, it puts more pressure on the ankles and requires runners to have stronger crawl. Again, if you treat it as a racing shoe, then this is not a disadvantage. But it's also relatively heavy. So, the third is the upper fit. Unlike road running shoes, a slightly roomier fit is acceptable. A poor fit in trail shoe quickly leads to blisters. I'm an example. With my average to narrow waist foot, when wearing 2E with Hoka trail shoes, I always get blister on my big toe after about 15 kilometers because my foot moves a lot inside. Most blisters come from this rubbing. So I think this shoe is best for wide-feet runners. But for narrow-feet runners, not being able to lock the foot in place is a real problem. Honestly, from this shoe, I can see that 361 degrees designers really want to give us a lot. The upper gaiter attachment, the lace securing loop, lots of protection, excellent midsole, carbon plate. But when you look at it all combined, I feel that if it's positioned as a racing trail shoe, perhaps they should have started by removing some elements. Finally, what I consider an undeniable disadvantage of this shoe is also durability. This is also a condition after 50 kilometers. I don't know if you noticed the problem. If not, look at the other outsole again. Some lugs are missing, as if cut off by rocks. This is something I've never encountered in all my trail running. I think this is probably related to CPU also, because I never seen that on my traditional rubber trail shoes. The mountain I ran was about 1/3 technical terrain, sort of gravel roads. The rest are dry dirt road trails and fire roads. Being tortured like this after just 50 kilometers also makes me feel reverence for the testing scene. Because in road running shoes, I'm often very confident in CPU outsole. They are durable and grippy. I naturally associated CPU outsole performance on roads with trail running. However, since I've only tested one trail shoe with CPU outsole so far, with two others currently being tested, one with Vibram rubber outsole and another with traditional rubber outsole, I can't determine whether it's the CPU outsole material being unsuitable for trails or 361 degrees CPU problem. I will continue paying attention to this issue in the future. Okay, let's wrap up the video. With all the pros and cons in mind, and its price is often below 500 Chinese yuan, I think the Flame 4x4 is going to be your daily trail shoe with great stability and cushion, meant for more moderate terrain, not for those hard-packed rock trails or rocky, more muddy terrain. And I mean, you can totally feel their big ambitions just from the name 4x4, like an off-road vehicle. But it felt best on that more moderate terrain in my runs, like a SUV. Those are my thoughts on 361 degrees Flame 4x4. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this shoe or any tips for improving English speaking. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. I'll bring you more about Chinese running products. Please follow me and hope you have a good one.